All right, first things first, you're here with Chico on selling call options. And one thing, not regarding call options, but I want to talk about the news recently about OpenAI and NVDA and how like that $100 billion investment from NVIDIA to OpenAI has kind of stalled. And also like, there's been some, I don't know, some friction between the two companies. And here on my screen here is the audio recording yesterday where Jensen Huang came onto Mad Money, talked to Jim Cramer, and Jim Cramer asked him straight up. And let me play a snippet for you. Like it's not the entirety of the discussion about the OpenAI investment, but let me play it for you.
IPO. And if that round is on them.
All right, I'm going to stop it there. You can go on and look for this yourself and listen to it in the entirety. But basically, Jensen comes on and squashes all nonsense, which was what he's calling about the reports that there was some problem with the investments. It's not. They're in for whatever OpenAI wants, and there's going to be, if you listen to it, there's going to be likely two rounds. There's one coming up for raising money, and then OpenAI will have another round before during the IPO, or for the IPO, and they're in for everything, and there's no drama in their relationship, and so I'm glad Jim Cramer was able to get Jensen on his show, and they talked about other stuff. It's not just about this, but he just fired this question across the table to Jensen, and Jensen basically says, yeah, there's no problem. We're investing in them. We love them, and everything's good. So yeah, it's just another example of the media not reporting accurately, and these things specifically for AI is getting magnified. So you got to be careful about this in the news. All right, let's talk about a few earnings report. Advanced Micro Devices, they came out, they met their numbers, and then they raised their forecast to exceed all expectations, but they didn't blow out their quarter. It's just another typical AMD quarter, and maybe like investors are very over optimistic about AMD, given they're like the second runner to NVIDIA, but they're just not NVIDIA, and yeah, their shares are down relative to where they close, but I mean it's still up quite a bit. Let's not forget that it's here. Let me pull out the 1 month chart. I mean, yeah, they got hot, and then they're still over 200 points, but yeah, to that point, I'm just saying AMD is just not blowing out their quarters, and their data center revenue is dwarfs Nvidia's quite a bit, and so they haven't hit that incredible stride with their GPU sales. I mean their CPU sales are doing well in the server market, but it's also they didn't say they were like they were sold out where they were constrained by supply like Intel. And so this is where the stock is. I listened to most of the earnings, and yeah, it was like it was a boring call. I didn't get too much out of it. Uh, but who blew up their quarter was Super Micro. Yeah, they're back. They're back in the glory days. AI data center build out requiring their server setups is hot. I think they were like 12 point some billion, and they were expected, 12.6 billion. That was what they reported. They beat their earnings, and they upped their guidance from like 36 billion to 40 billion. And they said in the call, when the analyst asked them, hey, what kind of number is that? Is that kind of a conservative number? And yeah, the CEO, he says, yeah, that is kind of a conservative number. So wow, that's stellar. I mean, they're up to 11%. It's but they're down quite a bit. Let me pull out the here's the 6 month chart. You see, they're they've fallen from grace, and So they're relatively down there, and yeah, they got a pop, but it's still, I don't know. I don't know if it would be considered something to get into. I mean, their market cap is 20 billion, so it's kind of relatively kind of inexpensive, you could say. All right, Chipotle. Chipotle was down in the after hours. Their comps, their numbers and everything, like it's negative comps for their star, negative 2.5%. But that actually exceeded the street expectations of 2.9%, negative 2.9%. So they were down, and but I guess after the opening bell, people realized that their turnaround story is kind of like starting to like shape up in a good way. So yeah, I actually will get to Chipotle. We made money off Chipotle because yesterday I actually unloaded all the Intel call contracts because the Intel was dipping, and I was able to unload all of them at break even, exactly break even, and sold contracts for Chipotle, which is in the profit zone now. And Take Two Interactive, yeah, they beat and raised. They had a fantastic quarter, and they said Grand Theft Auto is on track for November 2026. And they were up in the after hours yesterday, and for some reason after opening they're down. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with that. I mean, the market is kind of overall down, and at least the Nasdaq. And I guess they're taking a drag on gaming stocks. And same with Electronic Arts. They had a good quarter too after reporting earnings yesterday, just like Take Two, and they're kind of break even. And other stocks like Cirrus Logic, they're benefiting probably from. I didn't listen to the call, but they've done well, and they're up 10%. And same with Skyworks here. So both of them are probably benefiting a lot from Apple sales of the iPhone. All right, let's just get to where we're at. So yesterday, Chipotle, I closed out the Intel. I broke even on the Intel exactly, and yeah, Chipotle sold 12 contract at 63 cents. Now they're worth 11 cents each. I will close it out here. It was actually lower earlier, but you can see in the charts earlier that it's starting to head up for Chipotle. And anyways, yeah, we can pocket $624 if we closed out here, which I will. And then what is next? So tonight we got Qualcomm and Google reporting. I don't want to sell a contract for Google. Qualcomm, I'm not sure either. I have to think about it a little bit more. So I don't really have a play for now, like in this video, but okay, yeah, we closed at 11 cents. So we're good. We made a nice chunk of change on Chipotle, and yeah, I'll have to think about it. What the next play is for today? Maybe. Yeah, I don't know if I'll do Qualcomm. Qualcomm is at 151. We can take a quickly look at the options chain just to see what it's like if we did sell a call contract. I mean, they're trying to make AI chips themselves, and probably I think the last quarter the mobile chips are doing well. So yeah, if I sold the Qualcomm contract, I would want to do at least 165. 165 would net me about somewhere between 84 cents and $1 right now. Yeah, I'll think about that a little bit more. Otherwise, maybe I do something that is not reporting earnings after the bell today. All right, well, that's the latest. We made money off Chipotle and gave you some updates about the tech news and stock news. I'll leave it at that. Don't forget to like if you do, and catch you next episode. All right, you have a great day.